Talks. Hey, how you doing? I have Molly here from Macquarie Fields, Sydney. And she asked the question, what's the best natural way of removing or dissolving a brain tumor or any tumor in the body? I have worked with multiple clients with brain tumors. I have worked with many clients with all kinds of different tumors in different places, whether it be fibroid tumors, non-cancerous, cancerous, different types of tumors. And, one proponent that I look to is Dr. Herbert M. Shelton and of the hygienic system. And he opened my eyes to something quite amazing. And not only has he worked with thousands of patients that have had tumors, cysts, superfluous tissue, and different things in the body that have been able to be dissolved, but many doctors have come after him and used this same process essentially. And I've used this process with many clients. And I'm also always looking into new processes and things that people can do to potentially dissolve tumors. A couple of factors to look at, in my opinion, would be alkalizing the body, because tumors form, cancer forms in an acidic environment. Basically, if you look at, let's say, a fish tank, for example, when fish die, it's not because they've, haven't been fed or anything else. It's because the level of the water has become acidic. And when water is acidic, the oxygen actually isn't available. So when you alkalize the water, the oxygen becomes more available. So if you alkalize the system, there's more oxygen that can be used in the process of creating ATP and doing everything that it needs to do. So when we become acidic and backed up in different places, there's a potential for tumors to start growing. Then, boosting oxygen. So a couple of supplemental ways to boost alkalinity could be bicarbonate of soda. But the best way to go about it would be obviously eating greens, vegetables, fresh fruits, heaps of fresh fruit I recommend in the morning hours, and then greens, salads, veggies in the afternoon. That way you have kind of a balance going on. And that alkalizes the system as well. Putting some salt into your water, having a little bit of salt, balances fluid in your body, alkalizes the body, gives you plenty of minerals, things of that nature. So getting back to this thing of tumors, not only alkalizing and oxygenating your body by doing breathing exercises, potentially 35% food grade hydrogen peroxide, obviously watered down to the point to where you can consume it to boost oxygen within the body. I believe these are some of the best treatments that you can do that will also do no harm if you do it correctly. You can take a healthy individual, put them on this stuff, and they'll just get healthier. And that's kind of the test for me. If you can't take a healthy individual and treat them with something and they get sick, you probably don't want to use that. First, do no harm, like Hippocrates said. So when it comes to tumors, there's a process called autolysis of tumors. What is it? Autolysis of tumors. And what happens is when we go into a water fast, our body's natural metabolism requires a very specific amount of protein on a daily basis, or essential amino acids, to keep building new levels of protein so that the body can, proliferate its cells, can renew itself, can build muscle, can do all these different functions. Well, if you're only drinking water, you're not taking that stuff in. Well, the cool thing is we've been overeating protein every day for our whole lives. So there's excess proteins all over the body. And in fact, people eat too much protein, and then all of a sudden they have all these different growths in different places. You see people with, skin tags growing on their neck. You see people with moles and warts and different things growing on their body, on their toes, on their knees, all over different places. Now, I've personally experienced this, having a little growth on my knee at one point. Just a little mole popped up, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And I looked at the meridian, and it had to do with my liver, and at the time I was probably eating some things or doing some things that wasn't good for my liver. And so I grew this little mole, and it was there, and it wouldn't go away, and until I did a water fast. And when I did the water fast, only 10 days of a water fast, it literally, bang, was gone. In like 3 or 4 days, it started to shrink. Within 10 days, it was completely gone. And I've worked literally with hundreds of clients, and I've watched as, random bump on some guy's head and random, growths on people's body just disappear. And it's like, how is this process happening? And it's called autolysis of tumors. So what happens is, as we're not feeding our body the amount of proteins or amino acids that it needs, it starts to actually auto-disintegrate foreign proteins that the body doesn't need. Those little growths, those little bumps, those tumors are growths of, essentially pushing things aside, housing toxicity essentially, but it's a form of getting too much protein so the body grows in different ways that it's not meant to. When we eat too much animal-based protein, for example, IGF-1 within the liver, which is a growth factor, is massive, and that's the #1 cause of aging and a leading cause of cancer growth, this IGF-1 in the liver, and you can look into that. When you do a fast, even a couple of days, if you look into intermittent fasting or even the 5-2 diet, even doing 24 to 48 hours, cuts IGF-1 in half. And that process lasts for an extended period, meaning that the growth process within the body is going to slow down when it comes to tumors, when it comes to other things. You're going to age a lot slower. Some of these growth factors maybe you'd want when you're younger, or maybe you'd want for specific periods of time if you were doing bodybuilding. But if you're not bodybuilding, you're not moving around a lot, and you're an adult and you're fully grown, you probably want to radically cut down the amount of especially animal-based proteins that you're eating. So when it comes to autolysis of tumors, when you're on a water fast, your body within 3 days goes into ketosis. You switch from glucose as fuel to ketones or fat burning as fuel, which is very efficient. Once you get into it, you feel great. You're not hungry. I've had people go 21 days not hungry the whole time. Plenty of people feeling fairly good. A little bit of detox, a little bit of stuff going on. But during this process, your body is intelligent. In fact, there's studies out of the University of Southern California that show your entire immune system is reset with all brand new white blood cells and everything operating at its highest capacity within 3 days of a fast. And I can send you the research, I can put the links out, let you guys look at it, have a look. So not only does your immune system reset, not only does your IGF come down in half, but your body starts to autolyze all this superfluous tissue. Polyps in the colon, moles, skin tags, growths, tumors, cysts, all of these things start to get disintegrated. Now, if you start, let's say you do a 10-day water fast and the tumor or the thing you're looking for to shrink doesn't go away, well, that's because your body had plenty of other places to pull that protein from and didn't get to that yet. And I would recommend, if you had some kind of tumor, to do 10 days of a water fast and then break it and get back onto whole foods, a good diet. And then when you feel strong enough, do another 10-day water fast and then do the same thing, maybe for a month, eating whole foods, specific kind of diet. And I do recommend very specific diets when, looking to get rid of tumors or to heal yourself. I won't get into that here, but specifically I would be doing 10 days of fasting at least once every 2 months, maybe even once every 4 to 6 weeks. And each time you're going to be hitting new levels of accumulations of, foreign proteins. Even viruses are foreign proteins. Now think about that. Every virus known to man is an actual accumulation of different amino acids. It's a protein. So in our body's water fasting, it becomes intelligent. The immune system resets. It starts to go through and attack and break down and deconstruct foreign proteins. Your body's intelligence, your little workers in there, your little armies in there, go around ripping apart viruses to use those amino acids for your metabolism. You build clean muscle mass and tissue from viruses, from tumors, from cysts, from superfluous tissue, from polyps, from all of these things. Now think about that. Is every virus curable? That's a good question. I believe that every virus on this planet is curable 100% through this process. We also know that garlic is 99.9% effective in killing viruses. We know that colloidal silver is 99.9% effective in killing viruses. So what if you fasted, autolyzed most of the virus, your immune system's rocking, and then all of a sudden you inundate yourself with garlic, with colloidal silver, some of these things to get rid of those viruses. And the reason I mention that is a lot of times, it's a virus like hepatitis that leads to liver cancer. And there's different viruses that actually over time will cause cancers. Human papillomavirus in women in the reproductive system supposedly is one of the causes for reproductive cancers. That hasn't been proven. That's what they kind of say. So whether you have a tumor or an abscess or anything that you can feel yet, or whether you think that you're perfectly healthy, doing a 10-day water fast for mental, physical efficiency and getting rid of all these foreign proteins and allowing your body to heal and catch up is one of the most profound things you can do. This goes all the way back to the times of Socrates. Plato were known to fast for 10 days at a time on water, and it says for physical and mental efficiency. Pythagoras fasted 40 days and 40 nights on water. You're looking at people like Gandhi, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, all these interesting individuals from the past, even Leonardo da Vinci, fasting for extended periods on water. And why have we lost track with this? Why have we lost track? Every mammal on the planet, when it's either sick or injured, will do an extended fast. It'll go lie down, it lets its body rest, and it drinks lots of water until it heals. Wounds heal, bones heal, everything heals faster when you just drink water. It's also the reason why when you have the flu, you also don't feel like eating, just drinking fluids. And there's other research that has come out. I believe it's Dr. Longo that did this. I'd have to look back into it, but did research, Professor Longo, University of Southern California, that showed that people that got a fever would all of a sudden have spontaneous remission of tumors and cancer. And it's like, well, wait a second. What if a fever, the body heating up, for every degree your body heats up, your immune system works to the second power faster. So by the time you heat up 4 or 5 degrees, essentially your body's working 86 times faster. Your immune system is traveling 86 times faster and working and breaking down stuff and getting rid of waste and operating on a level that is fantastic. Now in the research it says, well, that's great, but we don't know how, and we wouldn't want to induce a fever. And we can't do that, so it's just kind of a random thing that happens. Well, what if you can induce a fever with what Hippocrates used to do, which is hydrotherapy, getting into very hot baths and then into very cold. When you get into the ice cold bath, it reduces inflammation, it sparks the immune system to activate. Then you get into a hot bath and it creates circulation and movement. You know, these wisdoms of the past apply even more so, and I think will come back in powerful ways. That's what I implement to my Heal Thyself programs. It's what people need to start doing, because when you sit into a piping hot bath, you just have a cold rag on your forehead or whatever, you're heating up your body and allowing that same process essentially to happen. In conjunction with fasting, when your body, after 3 or 4 days, your body starts to break down massive levels of fat through this process of ketosis. Fasting also stops an enzyme called PKA that stops your stem cells from being able to rebuild tissue. So it shuts off PKA. Not only that, but your immune system comes up and you start to proliferate embryonic style stem cells. And the research is there. This has been proven. This is science. When you do a water fast, your body produces a massive level of stem cells that shuts off the enzyme that stops them from working, and your eyes repair, your brain repairs, your liver repairs, your heart, your arteries, anything that's damaged, even structurally damaged, starts to heal. A stem cell is a perfect cell that has the ability to take the place of damaged tissue. And I could go on for hours about fasting and how it improves metabolism. Research from Whole Biological Laboratories in Chicago has proven this. It's just phenomenal what fasting does. So I know we're here to talk about tumors. Autolysis of tumors is what to look into. And you can simply type in autolysis of tumors, Dr. Herbert M. Shelton, look into him, and then start to research the doctors that came after him and the success that they've had. Then look into this guy called Tyler Tolman and his Heal Thyself program and how it's helped people to also heal from cancer. It's just part of the process. The body heals everything when it heals. I'm not saying it's a cure for cancer. I'm just saying the body heals, and there are cases of people that their cancer completely goes away. There's another level of mental and emotional stuff I think you ought to look into as well. Mark Darwin is one of them that had a big brain tumor, went to my father, started fasting, went off and did what's called a Vipassana, which is a meditation sit for 10 days. His tumor completely vanished. And this is probably 10 or 15 years ago. You can look up Mark Darwin online, amazing guy. He's got a website called Truthology, does some cool things. So something to look into. And whatever it is, I think it's a holistic approach, mental, emotional, physical, social, spiritual, financial. If you get all these things in order, I believe that you'll find yourself in a place of balance and healing, and things like tumors go away, especially with fasting. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.